health projects. So I'm quite, yes, I have quite a broad focus.
Okay.
Yes.
So this could be very interesting for the discussion of today, having a broad focus and a broad observatory, we can say.
Beyond the projects, however, like also the assembly is very much active in the development of youth skills. We have Andres, especially who's the coordinator of the youth programs. Among these, EuroDC is a good example, was also presented in the last webinar. And so we are also like involved and informed about this specific domain of work-based learning. So EuroDC is about providing youth with traineeship opportunities across translational across opportunities. So yes, let's see.
Okay, thank you. I will try to share my screen with you. Let me see if it works. Yes, I think so. And these are priorities and challenges identified for our PLC3 on work-based learning. So clubbers during this month discuss about evolution of perspective and changes impacting on work-based learning. So I summarized these key sentences and key concepts here in these two slides. So first of all, rethinking work-based learning after the COVID emergency. Of course, it is important. It is an unexpected phenomenon as strongly impacting on proximity. So work-based learning, on the job training, and work-based learning in all its forms need to be rethinked and innovated, also integrated, for example, new digital tools, new digital training environments, etc. So this is the second key sentence, key concept, digitalization as a leverage able to reinforce, improve, and innovate work-based learning. This implies also this digitalization of work-based learning means also to adapt digital mindsets, both for trainers, in-company trainers, trainers of the vet center, of the TVET providers, in the dual system training opportunities, and trainees themselves. Digitalizing VBL means for some of the clubbers very expertise in VR, introducing VR, extended reality, mixed reality as immersive methodology, as immersive training environment, able to prepare workers in a customized, safe, protected, and also quicker way in comparison with traditional training. For other clubbers, for example, some of them are managing an interesting project related to virtual labs at universities, the network of universities. New ICT-based methodology can help and reinforce the activity of physical training at labs or in companies. So ICT-based methodologies can help traditional, let me say, work-based training in contexts. The last input is related to motivation. So for supporting these change processes is absolutely relevant to think about the upskilling of and empowerment of trainers and trainees regarding how to integrate and to valorize the potential of digital transformation in education. So both having updated training opportunities and also working as so-called skill ecosystem. So once again, multi-stakeholder approach and co-design of training opportunities, curricula, etc., for an effective TVET of the future. So Now, if you agree, we can use this slide as a dashboard. I will try to summarize the output of our discussion, or of course, we are at the beginning of the process. So just for sharing in the last plenary session, some development directories, remembering that the discussion will continue on Basecamp. So Birgit, you are welcome if you are able to participate in the next steps of the process, of our peer learning labs. Looking at these main points, so your opinion according to your role, your expertise, your project, some inputs for our future step.
I will try to start. Also, maybe sometimes I will ask you to move the slides.
Yes. Okay, so please.
Okay. Yeah, starting from also the first one, maybe. Yes, this one. The first thing I thought is that all these 3 points are, and also the discussion afterwards, are very much interrelated. So the COVID, actually, we were already aware that a digital new era was coming, changing the setting of work and everything, and the COVID accelerated this. So I see all the other points very much related. Mm-hmm. So yes, the digitalization will be a strong reality in the coming years, and that's why also trainings and learning opportunities based on work have to conform to this reality. So so yes, I think that would be in the planning, of course, and it would be important to provide to like include this digital dimension already in the training that trainees will receive, and also that yes, upskill also the workforce of these trainers for them in order to yes to be faced with this new condition. Can these completely replace where we like the traditional way of working, which is not completely digital? I think that this has to be like quite taught, because just bringing our example with with our trainees in the past months who have been doing the entire traineeship teleworking, there is still a lack somehow about how to completely integrate them and yes, provide them a full overview of the work and the same skills that they used to uptake before. So I think that yes, digital tools have to go hand by hand with also either a sort of more inclusive environment, but also, for example, having beyond the work experience, also some other trainings offering other trainings going in parallel with the work experience. And a last thought that I also had, but then maybe we can like follow up also with the input of Ralph. A last thought is about inclusiveness. How we can ensure that all the people are now given the same opportunities. With the COVID, we were faced, we had like in Italy many news about people who could have not attended online lessons because they were lacking computers.
Yes.
So I think this should be also like a point, like, okay, we want to conform and go through this innovative way of working, but we don't have to forget we need to also like keep attention to ensuring that everyone is given the same opportunities, then not to create further imbalances.
There is also a problem of equipment, yes,
Yeah.
infrastructure problem, etc. Of course, at the basis of these changes. Okay, thank you very much. Ralph, any opinion according to your point of view? What do you think about these priorities? Agree, you can agree, or you have some comments in order to think about possible joint strategies for sharing this innovation process?
Yes, so I think what you already pointed out, indeed, the digital divide, to put a name to it, is certainly one of the important factors that has now appeared after the COVID, that those that had better equipment, better digital equipment, etc., had advantages. So that's why we need to make sure that the changes in technology also lead to, let's say, to an equalizing effect. Because if this was now an emergency, this was probably not the case. However, there are also possibilities, for example, that assessment, that training is more individualized, so that the needs of each learner are really addressed by the new ways of doing the teaching and the training. And so this can then allow as well that the students can improve their skills. Obviously, from my perspective, I can just say that it's good to have a strategy. So at the institutional level, which means at the vet school level, at the company level, and when we talk about work-based learning, that there's a better cooperation between the vet schools and the companies, and that they look together what is used in the vet school, what is used in the company, and they think together how they can optimize this to the benefit of the learner. And here there are different ways how this can be done. Obviously, the idea of the project that I'm leading, the selfie tool, is one step in this direction. So to see first where are we, in order to know then, okay, where do we want to go, and then have, let's say, also a kind of monitoring exercise. So it's because the selfie tool can be done regularly to always update each other. So to see, okay, last year we were here, we have done some actions, and then we can see after a year or so again, okay, where do we stand now? And the tool also allows to ask specific questions that can be done by the school. So really to see also, check whether the actions that were taken are actually also, or its implementation worked, and all the stakeholders feel that there's a benefit to that. So digitalization, you were now mentioning, for example, the VR, which is one way, one positive way, also simulations. So there are different ways how, on the one hand, for the company, in the short term, there are certainly high costs maybe at the beginning in order to buy, for example, these VR tools and simulations, etc. But over time, if you can train the learners, let's say in a larger scale, you can reduce the costs at least in different sectors. So there are a lot of positive developments that are related to digitalization, new possibilities. But as we could see probably also in the COVID, it's not something that goes from today to tomorrow, which can be realized, but it's a process. And that's why it's good to kind of also plan ahead, and again, to talk to each other and look at all levels, how people can be brought together. So also here, the idea in the long run of the selfie tool is also to be kind of a forum for good practices. Yeah, so to understand what are other institutions doing, maybe also in different countries, and so to learn from each other. So again, because the digitalization is something that is affecting everybody, but there are very different strategies, very different experiences. So if it is possible to understand and to bring people together to talk to each other, because there are so many different ways and to learn from each other. I think this is a very good way. And now, as we have seen since the COVID, I think all of us have done so many video conferences that we can't number them anymore. So that also shows that before you wouldn't have maybe connected that easily to other people because you were not that much used to all this teleworking, etc. So this is again something that is now maybe has opened up the minds as well, that it's, although obviously Skype, etc. was used before the crisis, but now it's really something, a routine. Yeah? So again, this kind of paradigm shift, which was mentioned also in the video, maybe now with the COVID crisis is occurring. Mm-hmm. So a few points from my side.
Yes, thank you very much. Also, yeah, as a monitoring exercise, selfie could be very, very important. And also this evolution to identify best practices, common best practices could help this very dynamic and very quick process. So also for supporting, yeah, the changes, the global changes we have to face. In my opinion, is also very important the concept of inclusiveness related to the new learning environments, and also what Birgit said related to how to make shorter the process towards inclusiveness, right? You mentioned to reinforce the dialogue among actors and to make shorter the process of the evolution to have fully inclusive training environments. In your opinion, according to your expertise and your observatory, how could we make quicker this process towards inclusiveness, innovating policies through joint strategies between vet schools and companies, as Ralph said, using other leverages, we can say, for supporting the evolution toward this direction. What do you think? Any other suggestion in this?
So basically, how would I envision actually like to speeden the
yes,
process
to speeden the process. Yes.
Well, I think that for this the main point would be advocating. It's about ensure, because it's about substantial equality. So the main action has to come from local authorities and also national authorities, also EU funds, especially making a good use of EU funds who invest a lot in this regard, and because it's something that rarely private companies would invest for. So either like partnership. It can be also partnership between private and schools, but I think the public action has to be the foremost one. So because it's indeed about providing the same people with the same initial tools. If we lack already if someone already lacks initial the same basis, then this will for sure reflect on the full entire career of this person with humble mobility as well. So I think the first would be, yes, to make sure that local authorities and local authorities provide, or also through, for example, it doesn't to be like that local authorities provide computer for everyone, but establishing shared space that can be accessible to everyone, where they can find the same tools. So computer and so, for example, libraries, study areas. So to make sure that at least the tools at the beginning are the same, and courses as well. When we talk about someone that comes from abroad, who has not that much knowledge of our current status of the ICT reality or languages. So it's a social dimension that has to go step by step with the learning process.
Okay, thank you very much. Ralph, any other suggestion before coming back to the plenary? Are you agree on these sentences I try to report here?
Yes, it's all perfect. Thank you very much. I totally agree also with Birgit. Yeah, also just let's say a point here is also that work-based learning as such is very inclusive, because particularly also if we think about more adult learners, that it allows them or gives them the opportunity to learn also in a more let's say a work environment. So for many learners which are not so much, let's say, motivated by school environments which are theoretical, so work-based learning as such gives them the opportunity to learn something directly. Also, if we think about apprenticeships, that they are directly remunerated, so that they also, it's easy for the financing here. And also there are opportunities here with digitalization. If we think about, for example, gamification, which is, let's say, one trend here, that if we think that in the past, then the training was maybe more theoretical, less interesting. So I think that gamification here can again contribute, particularly also those groups which are normally not so interested in learning theoretical issues. If there are games that will become more common, that make it more intuitive, more like, again, like a game. And this allows them, those which are not so prone to, let's say, learning, that they enjoy further this, and then they can also contribute here.
Okay. Thank you very much. These are more or less the main concept as a starting point for the next steps we have shared today. So now we will come back to the plenary for sharing these first results and giving us appointment to Basecamp for continuing this comparison. I hope you will be with us for the next steps. Thank you very much for your contribution in this space. Thank you.